Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Mary Christensen, the Director of Product Marketing here at BillingPlatform, and I'd like to thank you all for taking time out of your day to join us. Before I start, I want to let you know that we'll have time for Q&A at the end of the presentation. So if you have any questions along the way, please use the webinar sidebar to send your questions. With me today is Mark Blatnick, Senior Solution Engineer. Based out of Miami, Florida, Mark has been with BillingPlatform for about a year now. Prior to that, Mark worked at Salesforce, solutioning their CPQ and billing offerings, so Mark has a lot to bring to the session. Mark is passionate about using our technology to solve customer challenges and is looking forward to presenting BillingPlatform's CPQ solution to you later in the presentation. Now on to today's topic, integrated CPQ and billing, driving velocity into your quote-to-cash process. During today's call, we're going to dig into if a CPQ is needed in your business, what issues it solves, the benefits of integrated CPQ and billing. Then Mark will show you the product in action. And as I mentioned earlier, we'll have time at the end to answer your questions. So I suspect you're here today because you know your business could benefit from a CPQ solution. So it may be that you offer a wide range of highly customizable products and services, or your sales team is creating and managing quotes with manual processes. Or maybe you're experiencing errors in pricing proposals, or perhaps your proposal process is slowing time to revenue. Any of those issues definitely merit considering a CPQ solution. To address these issues, we found there are a few key capabilities that make for a good CPQ solution, including a pricing engine, a rules or constraint engine, a proposal generator, and the ability to automate quotes and approvals. At the end of the day, CPQ solutions help companies scale their sales processes, identify upsell opportunities, improve accuracy, and assist in delivering personalized sales experience. So what issues does CPQ solve? This goes back to the questions we just talked about. The first issue it solves is around complex product catalogs. If you offer a wide range of highly customizable products and services, a CPQ solution can manage your complex product catalog and guide your sales reps through the selling and configuration process. Based on predefined rules and constraint settings, the system automatically knows what products can be bundled together, how to price those components of the bundle appropriately, and what discounts can be applied. The second issue CPQ solves is around product configuration errors. If your sales team is managing quotes with manual processes, they likely run into product configuration errors when submitting the proposal to their manager for approval. A lot of companies still use spreadsheets to manage their large and diverse set of products and services, which only sets them up for failure without the ability for checks and balances that an automated rule-based system can provide. The third issue a CPQ solution solves is around lost revenue due to excessive discounting. If you're experiencing errors in pricing proposals, it's not only from the manual processes you're using, it's likely you're losing revenue due to excessive discounts that are being offered and possibly missed in the approval process. This too goes back to having the right tools in place that automate and streamline the quoting process. And the final issue CPQ solves is delays in receiving approvals. Something we haven't talked about yet is the approval process. If your quotes are literally sitting on someone's desk or in their inbox, they can easily be missed. With a tool that automatically routes to the appropriate approver, managers have a single place to look and can review and approve electronically. Once approved, the system automatically sends the branded quote to the customer for approval. These issues are not insignificant and can easily be solved with an automated tool that manages products, pricing, and proposals all in a single solution. And I don't want to sound like an infomercial, but that's not all. If the CPQ solution is integrated with your billing solution, you get even more benefits. This unified quote-to-cash solution can lower operational costs. When the two are connected and using the same product catalog, your support staff has only one place to manage products, services, and pricing. It also decreases time to market. Like we just discussed, You can streamline the sales process with automated quote generation and approval processes. You can also brand your proposals using your own colors and logos. And it also expedites the customer approval process with electronic acceptance of proposals. And last, but by no means least, you can eliminate quoting errors. That's why we built a CPQ solution. We saw a gap in the market with customers that had complex billing requirements, but light pricing and proposal requirements. And it seemed the most CPQ solutions out there were overkill for many customers, not to mention costly to implement and maintain. What we heard is that customers are really looking for a proposal and billing solution rather than the CPQ solutions that are currently available on the market. Plus, with an integrated solution, both sales and finance are happy. We like to say, if you can't bill for it, you shouldn't sell it. With BillingPlatform, you have a solution where you can do both in an integrated and seamless fashion. So with that, let me turn it over to Mark, who's going to show you our CPQ solution in action. Mark, over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to be here. As Mary mentioned, Mark Blatnick, solution engineer over here at BillingPlatform. Prior to that, I was working with the quote class cash solution out of Salesforce. And so this for me is really exciting because it really takes what I consider the best billing solution in the market and just extends its functionality to also be able to do quoting as well. We have a lot of knowledgeable people who come from CPQ backgrounds, and so we're really able to take best practices. And since we're building this from the ground up, it's really exciting to be a part of this creation. And so it's basic functionality. And again, with BillingPlatform, anything can be extended. So if there's any specific customer needs or business processes within the quoting process, you're able to easily extend those with BillingPlatform. The other nice thing is it's the same pricing engine. So everything you're quoting to the customer is going to be exactly what you bill to the customer. And I know for a lot of solutions that handoff can create pricing errors within that as well. So things like creating the quote, you'll be able to set rules, adjust pricing, submit for approval, do document generation, as well as have DocuSign integrated so that you can easily send this to the customer for approval as well. And with that, we'll dive into an actual look at the software. So let me share my screen. Okay, so we'll start out in BillingPlatform, same solution that everybody knows and loves on the account page for the Miami Herald. Over on the left, what we've done is we've opened up a So what we've done on the left, we've opened up the ability to generate quotes out of here. So we can see as we click into this, this is where you would go as a rep to create quotes. We can also put this as an iframe, an external system, or we can also accept API calls to generate these quotes as well. But ultimately, you're going to come in here. The rep is going to create a new quote. And we'll do this for the Miami Herald. IT department. And all profile and rules based security. So reps are only going to have access to the accounts that are assigned to them. And then we'll go on and just put an end date on this quote. What you see over here on the left, so we have quote rules. So for example, applying a discount. And as we go to apply, the use case here is going to be selling MacBooks to the Miami Herald. Discount rules can be applied so that reps don't have to remember if there's 10 that are on the quote. It's going to do an automatic approval, saves reps time, also gives you the ability just to create dynamic rules within your organization. For upsell opportunities, you might have something like product rules. In this case, if they add MacBooks to the quote, it's going to be recommended that they actually add silver support on top of that. So that as reps are sending these quotes out, they're going to be accurate, and they're also going to meet the needs of the business as well. Let's call this 2. So I'm going to add 20 MacBooks. You can also have pricing tiers as well, if that's another form of discounting that you want to include, so that the quantity on the quote line is actually going to dictate the discount that it's applied. So we can see here we have a quantity of 20 at a discounted rate for a total cost of $16,000. Now, when a rep comes and sees this, they can have any type of recommendation surface to them. So in this case, we can take a look and we can say, typically when we sell MacBooks, you're going to want to include silver support. And then we can add that to the system as well. If there's different type of templates for different customers, all of those can be imported as well. And when a rep goes to actually submit this for approval, so that you could have discounting on here, that would actually have an entire approvals engine, whether it's specific products that are added to the quote that are going to need approval, or whether or not there's a certain amount of discount that's going to need approval as well. And as we go to submit this, what this is going to do is it's going to send it internally for approval. I've automatically generated this as approved, but you could also do it to where it goes through a chain of approvals, and then you have the ability to send this specifically out to the customer. So as we go to refresh, we can see here that a quote was generated. And again, you have, this is a pretty scaled back version, but you have the ability to have this be as pixel perfect as you'd like. So we can see here a quote that we generated for 20 MacBooks with silver support for the Miami Herald. And with that, I'll hand it back over to Mary.
Thanks, Mark. That was really good to see the product in action. Appreciate that. And it really highlighted why integrated CPQ and billing is so important, especially because it uses the same product catalog. So really, you only have to go in there once, set up the products, the pricing, the discounts, the promotions, whatever you have, and it's accessible in the CPQ product based on what's built in the billing solution. So again, thanks for that. And it really raised some good questions from the audience. But before we get started with those, I want to remind everyone, if you do have a question, please type it into the question bar. It's the little question mark on the side of your screen, and let us know what questions you have about the presentation. I also wanted to note our email addresses here. So if you have any questions you'd like us to answer directly, please feel free to reach out, send us an email, and we'll get back with you. So Mark, a couple questions here. Can this work with our Salesforce app?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple different ways you can use our Salesforce connector that comes off the App Exchange. If there was a need to kind of have like a custom quoting object within Salesforce, but also we have the ability to put an iframe within Salesforce, so when they log on, they're able to just generate those quotes, and the screen is going to look exactly like a billing platform.
Great, thanks. So what happens if a customer requests a change to a quote? Can the quote be versioned, or do they have to start all over?
So there's an action button on all of the quotes that you can copy. And so what that's going to do is it's going to copy over all the products, as well as the header information, account, start date, and all that kind of stuff. And then it gives the rep the ability to make changes, whether it be adjusting products or quantities, or reassigning that quote to a different customer. It's really easy to do, so you don't have to start over from fresh each time.
That's really good news. This next question, we kind of answered it, but the question was, how do you set up products and packages in the solution? And then how do you apply the rules so that you limit the excessive discounts you talked about? And I know that part of that is the setup of the product catalog, right? So that's where you set up the products, packages, and pricing, et cetera. But can you talk about how to set up the rules part of that?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, once you establish products and bundles, if you're already a billing customer and you have those in the system, those will be available to quoting as well, just right away. and then being able to establish those relationships is very easy. So we give you a pick list of relationships, whether it's like dependency, suggestions, recommendations, and pick that from a pick list, and then you just associate the two products together by picking those again from dropdown. So creating those rules are really straightforward, and like with everything in Billing Platform, you're doing it all with point and click and not code.
Great. And that's, as you even mentioned, but that's a really important point about our product in general, is that rarely does it require any technical expertise to make changes to the system, but that it is a point and click type configuration. So thanks for talking us through that. One last question just came in. Are you able to support attribute-based pricing during the quoting process?
Yeah, so within that, when we were adding products to the quote, where the discount was and the cost was, you're able to put within that column different attributes, and then it will do calculations for you to generate that final price. We also have the ability to do formulas, as well as something like a VLOOKUP table to get that final price if there's more like qualitative data associated with the attributes as well.
Great. So that's all the questions we had, but and thank you, Mark. I appreciate your insights on all of that. I did want to suggest, though, that this has just been a bit of a teaser on our product and our capabilities, and as was demonstrated by some of the questions that you all asked, there's much more to it than what we showed you today. So if you would like a personalized demo of the solution, reach out to Mark or myself, and we can get that scheduled for you. Or if you have any questions about the product, again, let us know, and we're happy to take your questions via email. So that's it today. I'd like to thank you for joining us, and I hope to see you in a future session. Thanks very much.